Welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show. And now, as always on Wednesdays, joined by Mr. AJ Hawk. He's doing a great job there.
Yeah, there he is. Summon him.
Go.
Look at that guy, number 47, number 1 in your hearts.
Well, I mean, AJ, we got a lot of ground to cover today.
Sure.
I got my students in my class asking me this morning about, he's like, did you see Pat's show yesterday? I'm like, yeah, dude. They're talking, Boston Connor's talking about me eating poop for the Buckeyes to win a national championship.
Yeah.
Ryan Day with his beard being dyed. I mean, I had to defend it because, Age, I'm telling you, I see his beard every day. I've seen bad. It's tough to dye a beard and make it look normal. And for the life of me, dude, like, coaches during the season by like week 8 or 9, they look like they're honestly going to the gulag. It's just every day, eat the same thing, watch film. They're not spending time dyeing their beard. Like, that's not in the selection set.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of them definitely are, but Ryan's not. And I know Nina came out. It's great her coming out there and saying that. But yeah, I mean, I don't care if someone does or not. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's like a situation. But yeah, if he says he doesn't, then I believe him he doesn't. But yeah, I'm not going to sit there and go through pictures or go talk to multiple different people and try to claim that they do dye their beard if they do. But yeah, it's hilarious, isn't it? Like, people love football, I guess, right? I mean, anything that has to do with anyone that has football, like, people will talk about it. So I guess it's a good thing.
Honestly, I would like for us to just go to like a workforce and just like do the same commentary on just regular people.
Like, how would that go?
What would you
do?
I don't know. Just talk about people's slacks and how they wear hey dudes and stuff. And
hey dudes,
oh, I bet, why he has to wear hey dudes because, he put on about 30 pounds, somebody should work out, fat ass, like stuff like that. Like, I think that would be super appropriate. We could just go.
Yeah, culture builders. We can go be culture builders and help people like that.
Yeah, when keeping it real goes wrong, Dave Chappelle show.
Okay. Yeah. See what, look up, find some companies that want us to come in and do that, Bob, or Schlegs and fat shame people and really work them into shape.
I didn't say that to fat shame. I mean, we could just shame them in all sorts of directions. You know what I mean? And they can shame it back and be like, oh yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, my calves are very small. It's genetics. Let me just call my dad, who does, side nugget, also dye his hair. So it's like,
Raj.
Raj. He's amazing.
So what you're suggesting here is basically creating a locker room environment in every workplace in America. Is that what we're trying to get? We're like, you can just
that, or what would that be called? You could call it something like awesome.
You know what you call it? An HR nightmare is what you would call it, because nowhere else in the world can you talk like that to people.
Anti-HR day. We bring these guys in and they just freaking bash you. Like, they look at your bodies. We put them through testing, right? Put them through like some type of.
There are some guys like that on the internet. I don't know if you know, like, there's a lot of like sales gurus out there on the internet, and there's guys out there that make people come on stage and make them take their shirt off and try to like check their physique. So I think there's already some people out there in the forefront. Maybe you could join them. I don't know.
But my problem would be, like, I don't ever like to be negative. I'm not a negative Nick.
You're not. You're right. You are not. You're always positive. You're right, Sean.
I know. So maybe we could do both, right? Like, we could
build them up. We bring you in and you just build them up. That's all you do.
Bob, you belittle them, Bob. Like, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You belittle them. AJ, you're in the middle ground, like, oh, I don't know. And then I'll just fluff them up.
Yeah. I'm in.
TPS reports, man. Let's go.
Oh, you're one of the best fluffers around. Listen, Schlegs, I'll have to bring in, I don't know if I sent it to you. I played it when our buddy Brad, AJ, we were speaking at the Rotary, the Upper Arlington Rotary at Scioto Country Club, like in 2015 for a luncheon. And Schlegs, I've got this video. We'll have to play it for you next time. Schlegs, like, you're sweating, you're perspiring. You think you're working, but you're not. You've got to make the decision you're going to actually work. Was your Excel spreadsheet formatted correctly? No. Do it again. Did you hit the pull-up bar? Did your chin get above it? No. And now I'm going to rip you, and I'm going to rip your buddy for your buddy not coaching you harder, and we're ripping both of you. But now we're getting into the work. We're starting to feel it. We're sweating. We're perspiring. Achievements starting to come. and Brad's just filming all this, and people, their faces, there's like 50-year-old women in there, and it's like this big meatball face is just talking to him, and I don't think they knew what to do. Like, I don't think you're this expel sheet. No, do it again. Like, have you ever seen anybody in an office say this isn't good enough? Do it again.
Yeah, Schlegs, I know Schlegs. I've done I don't know how many years ago that was, 3-4 years ago. We went and did a tandem speaking gig to it was a big group of teachers, I believe, from somewhere. And Schlegs brought the juice. Like, Schlegs was up and down the aisles. It was like there was a stage, I guess, but he definitely did not stay up at the stage of the lectern. I like how he worked the room. Like, he was running up and down the aisles of all the people, like smacking the desk. It was awesome. Like, I know Schlegs gets gigs all the time like that. I know my brothers brought you in, and my brother said you brought so much juice that like they're always asking to have you back.
Oh man. Well, speaking with Ryan, it's easy, man. Like, we're just speaking the same language. It's just, like Neanderthals get together, like, oh, you know how I speak? Well, let's just talk. This is great.
Hold on. I want to ask AJ. So Schlegs and I, like, I've been using this deal for about the last, I don't know, I think 3 months, which is when it's supposed to kick in. I feel like I'm feeling pretty good on it. I found it in my Instagram feed. I tried Hims for a while. I don't think it really worked for me. My friend did. So I got this Spartan shampoo. Okay. And I said, I've used it for 3 months. And the lady cuts my hair, goes, it's like, how's my hair? She goes, it's really thick. And I was like, really? She goes, yeah, your hair is good. I go, I just want to make sure we're not receding. She goes, no, it's pretty good. I'm telling you, it's very thick. She goes, I actually thin it out. So Schlegs was complaining that his hair was getting thin. So how long have we been using Spartan? How long have we been using Spartan for, Schlegs?
I don't know, man. Well, I also found this stuff called Nutriflow or whatever. I'm doing it all, man. It's just kind of like I'm doing everything, man. I'm taking some supplements. I got the shampoo, and you got to leave it in there for 2 minutes. Let it do it work. So it kind of changes up. You wash your hair, and then you just rinse it off.
Whole routine. At 2 minutes really throw your whole day off?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a fast dumper too, man. I got things to do, man. I ain't in there to just sit there and write emails. I'm in and out, but it's like you shampoo, then you wash your body, then you rinse your body, then you rinse your hair, and then you rinse your body again. Boom, I'm out. Dry off into the dryer. Efficient. I'm out.
But does it look thicker, AJ?
Yeah, I think it looks good. I think Schlegs looks great. It's hard to get past the jaw, after seeing Tango and Cash 35 years ago to see Schlegs' doppelganger. But yeah, I think Schlegs looks good. Hair looks great, man. Imagine the stash. If you grow that stash out, Schlegs, you have so much surface area up there to grow a mustache.
And it'd be thick too,
you'll be Dick Butkus. That's what you look like.
It'd be thick. I should do that. I should just say, Steph, let's just try something here. Let's just try this out. What if I just grew this thick man sweater, lip sweater on my deal? Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so we've got this. AJ also on the show yesterday. I always love bringing it up, and I feel like no one really knew this until I really kind of pointed out that, your birthday, but, they gave Trump yesterday and JD Vance, fine Buckeye, graduate of the Ohio State University. They gave him the 47, the big 47, man. Yep. And so you give him that, the AJ Hawk number to President Trump. They have it for you. They could have I thought Kevin said he was going to give him a 45 too. I mean, ironically, 2 numbers that are retired, one for Archie Griffin, the other one for you. And so you've got 47, and then also your birthday's on the big day on January 6th. And so Pat kind of brought that up. I mean, we're going to Paul here. Let's just play it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of jail, people are saying JD Vance deserves to go to jail for what he did at a national championship.
No.
AJ, what happened? Okay.
Right, they need to design this national championship trophy much better. Why does the top glue that sucker in? I got some super glue. I'll put some super glue in there for you.
Oh, no.
I don't watch
it's
ball.
It's a 2-part trophy. You got to let people know it's a 2-part trophy.
You watch ball, you know.
Well, I think
you're right.
I think we know because that thing's been standing right in front of us a few times. JD Vance, no. Yeah, people hoist trophies above their head. Mm-hmm. He had no idea it came with a nice stand.
Sure.
It's a good stand.
Sheath.
I'll tell you what, I seen this because JD Vance, Ohio guy. That's a big part of the story. So Ohio State coming to the White House to celebrate national championship. What number is Trump wearing, AJ?
47. He's the 47th president.
What number were you?
I actually wore that same number about 20 years ago at Ohio State.
What is your birthday?
My birthday? Why is that relevant?
Just tell me what your birthday is after seeing
January 6th is the date I was born.
Okay, so your jersey was given to President Trump. January 6th is your birthday. Really feels like they're trying to make AJ Hawk as happy as he possibly could. When you saw this with JD Vance and the boys, what was your first thought?
Well, I actually had multiple people from around here that sent this to me. It's a 47 jersey thing. Like, oh, it looks like yours, bud. Like, yeah, that might be a throwback that someone might make and try to wear around now, I guess, with Trump on the back.
Well, I think they actually I talked to Kevin. They're going to do just like they got for Laura, the split jersey with Notre Dame. They're going to do the split.
That's what I was thinking
like
too.
A Trump
45, 47, red and white. I mean,
it sounds pretty sweet. I mean, what if they I wanted Trump to try that on because it was kind of like the game cut jersey as well, you know. They're the worst without pads on. They're terrible. It goes down to your knees and skin tight. Like, what if he would have put that on over his suit? Think of that picture op right there.
By the way, if you're not built like an athlete, the jersey fit, people are like, how did you wear this? I'm like, so you don't get held. If you're wearing that and you're not built really to wear it, it's maybe the most unflattering piece of apparel you could actually put on.
No question. Especially a white one, a white skin tight jersey that is fitted for somebody to wear with shoulder pads. Yeah, you don't want to. Not many people want to be walking around with that thing on.
Hey, I bet Trump would have looked amazing in it. Hey, let's dive into some other stuff.
Yeah,
hey, we got Nico. We got guys holding out, leaving. Give us your snapshot of Nico Alamiava.
Yep.
Alamiava.
Yep.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. He's leaving. I don't know his name. He's not a Buckeye. Doesn't need to be one. What's your thought?
I mean, it's crazy. I guess I'm curious to see where he lands. Like, what ends up happening. What his NIL deal would be somewhere else. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like you got Bob. I heard you a little bit this morning on the radio when taking the kids to school. You guys were talking about it. I mean, you got to really be aware, I guess, of what the people that are speaking for you. I guess you have managers, agents, your parents, like what they're saying. I just wonder how much Nico was involved. Like, do you guys know how involved he was in this whole situation?
From what I've been told, a lot of people in Tennessee that I know, they said he's a pretty good kid. And they, like, as soon as this happened, like, he just wouldn't return people's calls, wouldn't return texts or anything. So I think a lot of it was driven like by his dad and his agent. Like, I could imagine Pistol being, you know, big time dad for you, a stage dad, and essentially kind of taking this over.
Yeah, it's a different time, I guess. But I mean, it seems like all of these coaches, though, other coaches now are taking it as a time, like they're trying to like set the tone, or this isn't going to happen. We can't let it get to this point where somebody is trying to, you know, re-up between your last regular season game and your bowl game if you're in the college football playoffs. Like, it is wild to think that you could go in there and try to like renegotiate at that time. But we'll see. Like, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens, how much he gets somewhere else, wherever somebody signs him. But yeah, it's not a great precedent to set if they are doing this and guys are coming back for more. But you got to be, I don't know who can even do that. I mean, a guy of like maybe Jeremiah Smith, like a guy of his caliber that does what he does, where you lose him. Like, he's someone that could have that power, but he wouldn't do that most likely. So it's a thing. It's a weird deal. I think that these coaches have to always be aware of that. And you also have to like have kind of a hard line on what you will and what you won't do with these guys.
Yeah, it goes to the point where like you're recruiting the player, but you're also recruiting the family. So it's unfortunate, but that's the reality of the situation moving forward. Where would he land? So like, honestly, somebody even said like North Carolina, Petey Pablo style with Bill Belichick. Like, is that the type of program that he has to go to that could say, hey, listen, we got this. Like, I know how to run our culture. I know what our guys are about. I can handle this. Where do you think like that? Can that happen?
I don't know. I hear like teams are pulling out or backing out. Like Tulane was an option. They're backing out. I guess North Carolina, they said that wasn't an option either now. So I don't know.
Tulane. Think about that. Tulane ain't spending $2.4 million. They sure ain't spending $4 million.
Even that. I mean, I don't know if you think Nico is even at this point holding out for even what he got at Tennessee? I don't know. I don't know what his expectations are right now. I guess he's the only one that really knows how many teams are reaching out to him. But I'm sure a lot of teams are reaching out, but they're probably like, all right, well, what's the price? What's it going to take to get you here?
That's what everything's worth something. It's a function now, though. I mean, passed on basically 2.5. What I've heard, Age, is a lot of teams are waiting for him to drop to about $1 million. I mean, and this conversation came up. At some point, do you go back to Tennessee and say, hey, I'll take $1 million just to come back here and play on a good team? Because I don't know what other team is going to accept him. And at that point, like, hey, I'm sorry about my dad. I'm sorry about everything. Let me apologize to my teammates for what went on, because I don't know if there's a worse look, man. I mean, this is a full walk of shame that he's got to deal with now.
Yeah, I don't know how you could repair that and come back to Tennessee now. That seems That seems kind of wild to think, but I mean, I guess you never know, depending on the need and what's going on. But yeah, I mean, it's probably good that that it came out. I really wonder how much, like, who do you think was putting out from both sides? Like, who's putting out? Like, the narrative is really, depending on what people read or whatever your people can try to. I just wonder if the school, the agents, other schools, other coaches, like, who's putting all the information out, who's giving the information to all the different media people that report on this, because it is something I feel like coaches are kind of like bonding together, like coming out and kind of talking tough about how, hey, you're gonna come here with your hand out, it's not gonna work for you. So I just I don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm curious too. Okay, so what's the solution?
What do you think?
No, I want to know what the great AJ Hawk.
There's something coming down, right? When's the that court case, Bob? That's sometime in April, right?
Oh, it was April 7th was when they had their last hearing, and she's supposed to have some sort of ruling at some point here, probably this summer.
So that'll be like a rev share type thing. But then, I guess, is that going to help put in like parameters of when the portal opens and all this stuff?
Yeah, so I think they're going to put some restrictions on the portal, like what you can pay guys. The rev share will be in there. Like, only NIL deals will be legitimate NIL deals. They're going to have, like, Deloitte is going to be vetting all that. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to happen. Yeah, I don't
honestly just pay a consulting firm to do this. Sounds terrible.
Well, it's good if you're the consulting firm. I mean, they get the bucket.
Hire people, man.
What? Hire people? Who is hiring? Because what the NCAA
have a college football playoff like deal, man. Like that. Hire your people. Like I'm sorry. That's a whole other rabbit hole I don't want to go down to. Because at the end of the day, you could be a great consulting firm, but who's the ones that actually have to execute? That supposedly is the NCAA or some type of governing body. Like, that's the point. I can't stand the consulting deal. What do? They go in, they throw a bunch of nice ideas on a board. Who's executing? That's the problem. The buck always keeps passing. Just keep passing the buck down to somebody where it never gets done. And you spent all this money on a consulting firm. Who's going to execute? That's my question.
Well, the executioner, that's the one that executes, Schlegs. They're the one that the reaper. They come in there.
Just add it to my list. I'll do that too.
There you go. Let me ask you this, Age. We love kids sports. You got a bunch of kids playing sports right now from middle school kind of down. So do I. Schlegses are a little bit older. I mean, who is more intense watching sports right now? Your lovely wife, Beebs, or do you think her mother-in-law, or maybe Brady?
Well, Brady's been coaching his young kids. I think Brady might take the cake. He was coaching. Yeah, he would say no, but he he coached with his friend Jake. He coached his little daughter's really young basketball, like second grade basketball league. And I think the team was really good and everything, but I think he's not scared to get on an official if he feels like an official doesn't make a call that's right, even though in the league he's coaching, the kids pick the ball and they run with the ball like it's a football. So there's not really many calls being made. But yeah, I think he's not scared to give his opinion if he thinks something is egregious in one way or the other. But yeah, I think we have our family's full of a bunch of competitive people. That's good. It's a good thing.
I don't even know where to go with that because
it's entertaining. It's fun. There's nothing better than watching Beebs get worked up.
How do you handle games? Because it's so amazing, and normal ass regular people, I totally get it. But when they watch games, I just hear stuff from parents all the time, high school level. I'm just like, why would you even say that? How is that even helping? And they just do. I just don't understand the words that come out of other people's mouth. Is that just because we've done it, or is it just because they think that they're adding value in some kind of capacity? Have you ever gotten in the weeds and asked these questions from other parents?
I have not. I have not very much. I have not asked a whole lot of questions, but yeah, I'm in different bleachers, every week, every weekend, and I've heard plenty of stuff. Yeah, people. I think they think they're bringing value. They think they're helping.
They're helping. You think that's the mentality? I'm helping my child or my child's team.
Maybe, hey, or if I'm going crazy yelling at the ref and then I'm yelling at the other side and I'm yelling at the guy working the clock and telling them they're all terrible, maybe I'm just holding them accountable, right? Hey, so we have standards here. That's what they think.
Do you do when that happens? Are you just over there eating a protein bar? Just
I don't say much. Yeah. I've been in the middle of parents yelling back and forth, in basketball games, everything. I saw a great big old brawl at an AAU game about a year and a half ago. That was fun. 7 cop cars showed up. So I've been there when things have happened, but I guess it goes all back to sports, man. Sports make people crazy, like and irrational at times, and I guess that's what makes it great.
That's what makes it great. The beauty is in the violence, AJ. I think it's what you told me one time. So we appreciate that. We appreciate your time, sir. Go enjoy it. Hey, I'm sure you've got some nice what's better than like a kid's sporting event smashed in on a Saturday between a Good Friday and Easter? That sounds tremendous. So I'm excited. You're going to be in Vegas this weekend. I'll be in Vegas this weekend. Neither of us will be in Vegas really at the same time together, which is probably the most impressive feat of all of this. But maybe I'll try to catch you at the airport or something as we're walking through. But if we don't see you, have a great Good Friday, great Easter, and give the best to the family. All right.
Will do. Appreciate it. See you guys.
See you, buddy.
There he is. That was the great AJ Hawk. All right. Coming up next, Slugs, we're going to talk about some of the spring standouts and what they ultimately look like. But first, I want to tell you about our friends over at Export. Listen, parents, athletes, protect what matters most with Export mouthguards. Trusted by professional athletes, designed by NHL team dentists. Export mouthguards are scientifically tested to absorb high-impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. Export mouthguards. They got 3 layers of advanced protection, including patented use, carbon fiber, 3D printed to your grill, so it looks tremendous. More protection, better performance, max comfort, clear communication. That's what you're going to get, so you can focus on the game, not the gear. Don't take chances with your safety. Go to exportguards.com/Bobby. You can save 15% on your order. That way, with Export, you protect what matters most. Talk about some of the spring game risers coming up next. All right, welcome back in to the Bobby Carpenter Show. And like we've got ourselves some spring game.
Let's go.
Successes. And so as we look through this, 11 Warriors put something up there, and they went through this. They had 14, I believe, players that had success in the spring game. So not everybody sees everything in the spring. But some of the risers, if we want to throw this up and talk a little bit about it. One of the guys at the top, Mylan Graham, obviously huge day. Everybody could see that crisp, clean route running, what he was able to look like. Julian Sayin went 7-24, 158 and a touchdown, had a few drops, but it looked like he outperformed Lincoln on that day. And Lincoln played pretty well as well, but on that day. And then we've got Peyton Pierce, linebacker. And everybody's been talking a lot about Sonny. They've been talking a lot about Arvell, and both of those guys are really good and doing some great things. But talk a little bit about Peyton Pierce's game, the second-year player out of Dallas, and what he can bring to the table.
I just think that Peyton allows you to have some versatility with Sonny and Arvell, right? Sonny was also on this list. They'll had some miscues in the game, but he's an absolute freak. And I think when you have depth at the linebacker position, he is quote unquote prototypical inside the box linebacker, really, really high football IQ. And what that does is that allows you to be, multifaceted in whatever you want to present. Do you want to go to a 50? Do you want to have 2 outside guys? How do you want to shift those? Where does Veli play? Boom, I could bring him in. Plus, you also have to have that depth. It's a 16-game season now. So having Peyton be that younger guy that's starting to step up and rise, and he's just consistent, man. At the point of attack, coming downhill, building the wall, which Matt Patricia wants to do. That's the Patriot way, right? Get everything bouncing east and west, not north and south. He showed that on a couple of really good plays, but he's been very consistent. It's not like he flashes in a game. Peyton throughout the entire totality of spring has just been consistent. And when he's had more opportunities, he's made them count.
Absolutely. One of the other guys they point out, running back Bo Jackson, 88 yards on 13 carries, looked good, broke some tackles because he was out there in the live portion. And so that's always key to note that he was able to do some good things in the live portion of it, had the long 27-yard game. And it's interesting because you have Donaldson, you have Peoples, who's going to be that third guy and who are they going to get in the mix? I think Bo Jackson could potentially be part of that. Max Clare had 2 receptions for 28 yards. He had a buck. He did a great job when the Ohio State played Purdue. 10 receptions, 114 yards. I mean, he by the tight end. So the tight end room is strong in the spring game, but he had a big career at Purdue before transferring over. And the attacking the middle of the field, it seemed like that was something that Brian Hartline tried to do. Now, granted, it was limited coverage and what they were trying to do, but anytime they got single high, they were working that tight end in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he's going to be a great, that room in general. Coach Bailey has done a very, very nice job. One, we go back and talk about the fact that he has a tight end, Cade Stover, that played linebacker at Ohio State. It's playing tight end in the NFL. Great job developing that. G. Scott had his best year as a Buckeye this last year. You got Will Kazmarek, Jelani Thurman, Christian Bennett, right? Max Clare comes in, adds a different dynamic. Really good wiggle room in there, right? So we need that when you have, Brandon Ennis and Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, and then Miley Graham was on this list and Quincy Porter was on this list. Those guys are rising. But that threat over the middle with the size and also being able to be an inline blocker and how we utilize tight ends, multiple tight end sets, regardless of where on the field, puts defenses in a difficult situation on who's going to cover them in those mismatches. Great addition to the Buckeyes.
Yeah, so like you always say, put the D on notice, and he would puts the D on notice, if you will. 2 other guys on defense that I think haven't been potentially as heralded as maybe we've talked about, and one's got a famous brother. Another guy was a transfer that, didn't necessarily come in with a lot of hype and fanfare because where he went. But I want to talk about Lorenzo Styles Jr., and he's the guy that we've had on the show. Him and Sonny do a tremendous job in the community. He's the older brother of Sonny Styles. Strong showing at nickel this spring. And last year he got on the field some defensively, and he would come on the dime package. He came in for Jordan Hancock, transferred in from Notre Dame, flipped over to nickel, had a shoulder injury last spring, healthy now. And I think he provides a little bit of versatility there, depending on what they want to do with that nickel package. Jermaine Matthews can play inside because they have Aaron Scott and Devin Sanchez can also play outside with IGB. But depending on what you want to do and who you're playing, I don't think you can understate the versatility of Lorenzo Styles and some of the big plays you saw him make in the spring game, being very patient in coverage down the field.
Yeah, he is going to be your 2025 Jordan Hancock version. That's what he's going to be. And good for him, man. Good for Lorenzo. He's worked it, man. He's worked it, overcome some adversity, transferred here, playing with his brother. He's going to add a lot of value this season.
Absolutely. And I'll put a pin in this because I want to come back to it.
Come back to the rest of the guys.
There's a couple other guys that I really want to feature and really talk about. One of them that we didn't get to in defensive end, Logan George. So we'll get to him here coming up next. But first, I want to tell you about an unbelievable new product that they've got over here with Ohio State. It's called Backer. It's BCKR. It's how it's pronounced, Backer. Premium Buckeye hats and jackets founded to make fan gear better. If you've ever had fan gear and it's not that good, and you've had this golf stuff, you had hunting stuff, fishing stuff that's been elite, that's what Backer is doing. Costs a little more than maybe your typical stuff, but it's a premium product with an unbelievable price. It's a good value for what you're looking at. I've got a couple of the jackets. I've got the hat. I'm going to start getting it on. You know what, I might come back with the hat on here so you can look at it and see it because they've got this sweet gear. They've got cold gear. They've got hot gear. But listen, here's the best part. For every purchase of Buckeye gear on their website, Backer, that's BCKR, Backer.com, portion of the sales go back to the Buckeye student athletes. So use promo code Bobby, all caps, for free expedited shipping. So it gets right there to you. Make a great Easter present. So make sure you get out there, great stuff for graduation stuff in the spring. If you want nice Buckeye gear, Backer, they're the place to go. We got more of the Buckeye spring game breakdown coming up next.
the Big Play Sports Network. Download the free app today to watch all of your favorite hosts on demand.
All right, Schleich, back here with my sweet backer hat. I mean, it's sweet. You're going to have to come check it out. The stuff's all really good. Feels great.
Premium gear, Bob, for premium fans.
Absolutely. That's going to take care of you, and they do a tremendous job ultimately with that. All right, we've got one of the other defensive ends I want to talk about, Logan George. So everyone knows you got C.J. Hicks out there. Then you've got Caden Curry and Kenyatta Jackson, who have been playing defensive end. But Logan George, kind of guy I think they got overlooked a little bit, had really good pressure in the spring. Now, you can't, in the spring game, you can't tackle the quarterbacks, but you saw him last year, 19.5 tackles for a loss at Idaho State. Ryan talks about this, having heavy hands, which means, listen, he's shocking guys. He's getting off blocks. He did a good job pushing the pocket and getting pressure. Now, you couldn't take those quarterbacks down, so it was tough to kind of quantify that for people to understand it. But I thought he had the best pressure of just about anybody. He's good. He's always around the football. And now I think you've got 4 really good edge options there with the different defensive end combinations.
Yeah, that's where, again, we go back to what's the versatility? What are the different packages? Remember, we talked about the rushman package. Well, if you got a guy that can go down to a 5 technique and still be heavy hand and hold that gap, there's an option there. The biggest thing is, how do you add value? And Ryan Day said it in the article. They're going to really figure out what the best fit and how they can utilize him. Plus, again, remember, guys, I transferred here too. Leadership, where you started, how you started, doesn't matter. But he's been, to your point, Bob, he's been very consistent. And it started when he came in during that bowl prep, that playoff run package. Because, good on good, I'm going to go give these guys a look. I'm going to make sure my presence felt. Bam. Hard time blocking that guy. He's giving me a better look than what I'm going to see when I'm playing, Texas or Notre Dame. So good for him. I'm excited to see how they utilize him in the fall.
So a couple other guys that flashed for your Schlegs during this time. C.J. Hicks, who I mentioned,
Yep.
had a sack early. His consistency is going to be the thing for him. He hasn't played defensive end until really last year during bowl practice, but he was able to make some of those plays, which was nice and looked pretty good. And then on the offensive side, Quincy Porter, I thought, looked really good. He was the first, we've talked about this, first guy in that class, not Devin Sanchez, not Bo Jackson, to get his stripe removed. And so he had an early drop or early slip, but he had 4 receptions, 50 yards, big play on a go route, caught a nice ball from St. Clair. And I think everybody's expecting this tall, physical dude to maybe, be JJ's backup and get, 10 to 20 plays a game.
Yeah, honestly, guys, when you look at Milan and JJ and Carnell and and Quincy, these dudes are big dudes, man. They're big, they're tall. And I mean, hell, you look at our DBs, they're bigger and taller, IGB's not short. Devin Sanchez is a big guy. And we got some really special athletes in our skill positions for years to come here at Ohio State.
And then the last 2 guys I want to talk about, another offensive guy that's on here, Nate Roberts. I think he's good. He might be the 5th tight end, but he's a freshman coming in from Oklahoma. Big get for the Buckeyes to pull him out of the Sooner State, come down here, hauled in 4 catches, 41 yards. I mean, really, there was a lot to go around for the tight ends. And you start talking about Christensen, you start talking about Jelani Thurman, and then also my guy, Will Kazmarek, has been battling, a foot. He's been in a boot, as people have seen him out there at practice. He didn't even play. And so they've got some nice versatility of what they're going to be able to do. But finally, you start talking about some of the kicking issues that Ohio State's had. Jaden Fielding went out there. I was a little bit battling through some injuries last year, but he went 4 for 4 on kicks inside of the 50, nailing all 3 of his field goal tries, longest from 44 away. He went 4 for 4, I guess, in the CFP, but looked good Saturday, nailing all 3 of his field goal tries. Not crazy long, but looked very confident in the ball was jumping off his foot.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man. I mean, somebody actually brought this up too, and the Australian punter, right? Honestly, what we got to picks up next year is obviously the kicks, big games. You can't let that be a thing. Go get depth, right? You don't need to get in a portable. You need to do it in a recruiting class. but also the punting situation. Like we got to be able to flip the fields when we have to. So that's something. Again, you're not going to see that in spring games. Okay, like spring games for snappers and kickers and punters, especially a punter, they don't punt. They don't punt. So something that we need looking forward. I'm interested to see how that looks in camp.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be a big piece of it. So we'll see how we got going. See what goes on with that, and how that kicking situation evolves throughout the summer, and then ultimately into camp as well. So that's another big element that they've got to get sewn up, because you can see how that matters when you get into big games. All right, we've got our headlines coming up next, and we've been doing our prospect preview leading into the draft on our headlines. So we'll take a look at Ohio State left tackle Josh Simmons after this. All right, welcome back to the Bobby Carpenter Show. Please like, subscribe, follow us, do all of those different things. Leave your comments there. We love it, and we appreciate it. Now we got to our headlines, brought to you by our friends over at Lake Spur Marketing. Lake Spur Marketing is a full-service agency that built on trust, strategy, performance, the things that you want. Lake Spur, their team shields you from the unnecessary BS that's out there, the noise, the cold collars. Listen, they help you do what you do best. Work on your business, because you can't work in it and on it at the same time. They've got over 100 years of marketing. So Lake Spur eliminates waste. They deliver on budget. They don't chase the clicks. They build a partnership. Lake Spur Marketing, the proof is in their partners. Josh Simmons transferred in from San Diego State, Schlegs. Pretty good season 2 years ago. Looked pretty good. He's a big guy, 6'5", has the frame, really athletic. Listed at 317, got bigger. He came in, he was heavy, lost a lot of weight, got down. It's like, hey, buddy, you can't be that light. So let's get some weight back on you. But he moves really, really well. I think he's probably going to be the first Buckeye off the board. And when he decided to leave, I said, what are you doing? You tore your patellar tendon, like your knee's a mess. But he looked pretty good in limited work that he did ultimately during pro day. And the Buckeyes were able to recover from him not being there, that injury against Oregon. And so I thought it would be devastating and crush Ohio State. They reloaded, they shifted, they got it done. But Josh Simmons might be the best player and the highest player drafted in this Buckeye class.
And why? Plays a premium position, left tackle. They're going to get the money. And again, going over Josh, and I'll just go back over and I'll just take like things that I've seen. Guys, first off, super athletic, unbelievable punch. I mean, we talked about Logan having heavy hands, like when Josh strikes you, it is noticeable. When he strikes, it is violent. It is noticeable. I mean, his back taper is just like, boom, and he's that big of a human, and he can move. He's exactly what you want, because now the chess game of the NFL is faster, athletic. I mean, again, you're going against Captain Jackson, those guys, JTT, like they're bigger humans. They're 270, but you're also same position, go to somebody that's 240, right? That can bend it. It's every game is different. So you got to be able to move at that position. And he has those attributes, which equate to more dollars, higher draft picks. And I'm excited for him.
Yeah, he's got great center of gravity, really athletic moves, super strong punch, able to rework his hands, reset, as people call him, after you get beat, after you get him knocked down. Terrific when working in tandem on like games and stunts when you have to bump off and work with people. He's a pretty smart player, redirects well as a run blocker. Like the guy can really do a lot of things. And the big question for him is going to be that injury with his knee coming off of it. How long is that going to take him to heal? But from where he is, he's progressing. Guy looks pretty good. He's been moving. He's more mature. People question him a little bit with his off the field stuff. And I've never been a big believer in this. And I tell guys always coming out, man, don't give people not a reason not to draft you Say he's not a true dude mover. Occasionally caught oversetting, but a lot of it is kind of off the field. He's got the dyed hair. He's got some piercings. He's a Cali guy. And so inherently I like him. And I've told him this. People look at Cali guys like they're a little weird. And that's all right. But do we need when we go on the visits, do we need the piercings? Do we need all this? I think Mike Vrabel may have said the same thing to him as well, because you're a good dude. You work hard. You care about football. But people see all that and they think that those things may be a distraction, some of the old school guys. And I said, don't give people a reason not to take you.
Yeah, I think too, Bob, with that, it was part of this is just a maturity phase of even I remember when it was fluctuating, going down weight, below 300 and some advice that he needed to be more athletic and less no. You have to be a certain weight. You're going to have to be 300.
Got to handle a bull rush, man.
You
You got to be able to anchor.
I would say this too. When it comes to dude movers, Nick Mangold was phenomenal. He didn't have to necessarily move dudes. He did a lot of it by body placement and then just anchored down. And you just couldn't move him against some of the best that were out there, and why he played so long. That's the caveat of the craft of being an offensive lineman. It's Corey Linsley, dude mover, but he had to. That's what Corey did very, very well. Andrew Norwell, dude mover, guy 6'8", not very bendable, but would move dudes, right? You don't have to be all those things. You just got to be the best at what you do and how you add value.
Absolutely, Schleiks. Well, that's it for this edition of the preview. Up next, we got our tailgate talk. Out to our friends at Real Truck, where we answer your questions. So get those fired up in the chat and the comments section next on the Bobby Carpenter Show. All right, Schleiks. The comment was to you from Phil J here. Schleiks, you and the wife going on a date night tonight? Looking sharp, baby face. You're oozing swag through the computer screen today.
Yeah, appreciate that. Shaved last night because it was looking really rough. We got the Fury play tonight at Nationwide at 7:00. I don't know who they're playing. It was and yeah, they're do you train them? Yeah, I train them all. They're fantastic. They're my alpha females. They're actually rocking gas station ready T-shirts tonight. I was like, listen, I don't want you to get in trouble by the league. And again, it's been coming out the last game they played in Vegas. They got a red card. Angel, their coach, got a red card. And then they were talking about it, showing the sign after they swept them, the red card sign. They're like, oh, take it down off of social media. I was like, no, I love that. That's exactly what we're about here. Spike it in their faces, right? So now they all got gas station ready T-shirts. We're going to wear that. But yeah, I appreciate it that I'm working on the hair. I got to do more my maintenance. And that's part of why I'm moving back to Columbus, so I could actually have a routine and to kind of take care of my body.
Yeah. Another question coming in here from Sam Hill. Will Bo Jackson be suiting up for the baseball team too? I looked it up. I believe he played baseball in high school. I don't know how good he was. It's really tough to play multiple sports. And I know his name is Bo Jackson, so Bo knows, and that's a big deal. However, Schleiks, I don't think so, because during spring ball, he was at practice the whole time. And usually if that's when you were going to, play Bo, you'd be practicing your baseball in the spring. We had Nate Sally, who played basketball with us our freshman year. And so he was doing basketball conditioning and didn't do as much of the football stuff in the winter. And so I think if he was going to do that, that would be the path. But maybe next year would be different. But I don't believe so.
Yeah, no, you don't need to,
man. And also, Schleiks, how do I get one of those shirts? I'll buy one for my fiance and force her to wear it. What's the shirt, Schleiks?
No. He was talking about the gas station ready. I actually got this one. I put this on because we were talking about OKGs, our kind of guy, Waffle House ready. And then, these are my guys. There's a guy, Tom Havlin. He's a freak. Josh Bryant, I've known him since Metroflex days. I told him
Zach Bryant.
No, yeah,
Luke Bryant.
Luke Bryant. No, this is Josh. But we talk all the time about train violent to be violent. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. Make a t-shirt like that, dude, because like that's the lifestyle. Train with intent, live with intent. I'm an intense guy. It's funny, like that's why I say,
thanks for telling the
say
people.
like
They didn't know that, Schlegs. They didn't know that by watching the show.
Oh, they don't? Okay, good.
Yeah. You know what? Why don't you save your intensity here, Schlegs, and throw them a little nugget when you wrap up the show here coming up next. All right, final segment of the program, Schlegs. You got a minute. Let's wrap it up with
side nuggets. Here we go. You know what? I've been fanatical about this, and just thinking all businesses that I operate in is right people. Right, we talk about the bus. Right, you got to get the right people on the bus, but more important than anything is the right people in the right seats. And guys, I'm telling you right now, it is okay to go. First off, you have to know what are the needs of your organization. Communicate. Talk and say, listen, man, what is the thing that you absolutely love to do here? Okay, cool. Is that something that we need right now? Yes or no? Do you have to wear many hats because of where we are in a business? Potentially. But like the number one thing is the right people in the right seats. Because that allows everybody to be at their
right people on the bus in the right seats. That's what I'm talking about.
Schlegs.
Nightmares. John Gruden. All right, thanks for tuning in this Wednesday. We got a big show for you Thursday. I think Cody Simon will be joining us Friday. Thanks for tuning into this edition of the Bobby Carpenter Show. Stay locked in and enjoy the rest of the week.